Hi Caleb, hi Logan, hi Heidi, hi AJ and Winnie. Then he has a book called The Bewilderbeast. No, I wonder what a bewilderbeast is. A tracker was called to a jungly town. He'd been promised some gold if he could track down 4 monsters the townsfolk were worried they'd seen, for the townsfolk weren't keen to be monster cuisine. Well, they've called him in. Come on, tracker, come and help us. They thought they'd seen monsters, but in truth weren't quite sure. They'd describe what they'd seen for the tracker to draw. They're horrific, some shouted. Bizarre, others claimed. They were weary and scared. No two stories the same. The tracker stopped drawing. You're all too confused. I'll see for myself. Yes, that's what I'll do. So he walked and he trekked, followed tracks along trails, till he spied through the vines an unusual tail. A tail? What a tail! Marvellously long, pinkish and plush, and tipped with a prong, perhaps for defence when attacked from behind by the other fierce monsters he'd come here to find. Oh, there's the tail. So there, now he knew at least one beast was true, but as he looked up, it escaped from his view. So he went back to tracking through viney heat, till he spied through the vines some mysterious feet. Where are those feet? I think I see them. Some feet, oh what feet, neither pad nor a paw, hard like a hoof with dangerous claws, spread outy toes with webbing between, the strangest confoundingest feet ever seen. So there, now he knew at least 2 beasts were true, but as he looked up, the feet scampered from view. So he went back to tracking through tall grass and tree, till he spied through the vines a remarkable knee. Is that the knee there? A knee. Was it truly a knee he could see, or perhaps he should say where a knee ought to be? Because now he heard music low and forlorn, for you see, where the knee ought to be was a horn. So there, now he knew at least 3 beasts were true, but as he looked up, the third tooted from view. So he went back to tracking with care and rigour, till he spied through the vines a startling figure. Though the head was all hidden, and so was the tail, a belly was visible, covered in scales, silver and green with a moist metal sheen. When the scales rubbed together, he heard tambourines. I think I see an eye too, look. Mission complete, the tracker now knew he'd seen for himself that 4 beasts were true. He was off to get paid, where he stopped, stared and said, "Good gracious." A 5th with a most curious head. The tracker flew back to the town in great haste and drew for the townsfolk the 5 beasts he'd faced. The 5th was an extra. "Now pay me," he cried. But when they saw what he'd drawn, they thought that he'd lied. "No, these creatures are far too bizarre to be true. We had doubts about beasts, but we're sure about you. You're a fraud, we won't pay. Now get out of town." Then hark, they all heard a bewildering sound. They don't believe him. A strange tooting horn and a moist tambourine. "Look," cried the tracker, I told you, see?" Then suddenly jungly wind began blowing. The trees swayed aside and something was showing. All those things might belong to one beast. The townsfolk all panicked. The tracker screamed, "Run! There aren't 5 beasts at all. Just one. A bewildering one." All those things do belong to one. That's silly. Love you, see, bye.